We looked at the previous model, the X-A5 in Amsterdam, and thanks to coronavirus, we're mainly going to be looking at the latest model, the X-A7, a lot closer to home. But nevertheless, I think it's worth taking a look at. The X-A7 features a new 24.5 megapixel APS-C CMOS Bayer filter sensor, which I'll quickly cover up because people seem to get upset with that. If you flip it over, another pretty cool feature, the 3.5-inch vari-angle touchscreen. Pretty well implemented. We've got a uncropped 4K 30p video. Interestingly, I've got to mention this, even though I probably won't use it that often, but it's got two video one-to-one options. I haven't seen that before in a Fujifilm camera or on any camera I've used lately of this sort of nature. So you've got a 1080 by 1080 or a 720 by 720. Clearly something for the social media market. Another thing that will be cracking for social media and just general video use, and it's something I've been waiting for a long time from Fujifilm. Correct me if I've missed it somewhere along the line, but this has a proper time-lapse mode. Now, we've got more phase detection pixels than the X-A5. We've got an upgraded Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection. We've also got a USB-C port that can be used to charge the camera on the go. Now, if you flip it round to this side, you have got a mic port. Alas, it's a 2.5mm jack, but at least the body comes with an adapter. It only weighs 320 grams, so it's 40 grams lighter than the previous model. I have to say as well, before we actually get real deep into it, it's nice to have a shutter button there, which is fine, and a nice clicky dial there, but we've also got this other dial back here with another button which is cracking for starting and stopping video, so you can focus, compose, and then hit this for the video if you so choose. We've got another dial to choose between modes. You should really only be going for manual, aperture, shutter speed, arguably panorama. Don't go in any of these, but it's pretty cool that they're there, I guess, as this is a beginner entry level camera. One more thing before we crack on. Your SD card goes in the bottom, and W126S, nice powered battery. Currently, well, the X-T4 is about to hit the shelves soon at some point, coronavirus permitting, but this is the most powerful Fujifilm battery on the market, at least discounting the T4, which, yeah, some people already have, because anyway, we need to look at some very rough samples and have a chat about it on the other side. Considering it feels so light and fragile at first, it's actually well built, and for an entry-level camera, it's a nice fit. It carries on the tradition of excellent JPEGs and RAW files that Fujifilm are well known for, but for me it's the video mode that's really jumped up in quality over the last model. The 4K video really is pretty usable. Now, I struggled to find any decent clips online when this came out, and I appreciate I haven't been able to produce anything spectacular yet either, thanks to COVID-19, but I am a lot more confident with this model. The autofocus has improved and even works well when face tracking in video mode. Really, it's nice and fast, dare I say, again, for an entry level camera. I was really happy to see a proper time-lapse mode on this thing. After shooting the time lapses before, the camera now has the option to produce the video file on board right up to 4K. There's a bunch of easy modes that frankly aren't my thing, but they're well implemented and easy to use via the touchscreen. Now, my favorite black and white simulation isn't here, but the rest that I use regularly are. And even what's there, the monochrome, is absolutely fine too. Digital stabilization seems pretty good, but honestly, the XC15-45 has stabilization that worked well for me and saved me having my image cropped in a bit too. But I'm glad to see that the digital IS is in this body, though. It gives that extra little option. The screen is well implemented. It did take me a little getting used to at first, flipping it open, but it's simple and it's easy enough to use. But if you need a viewfinder, then check out the XT200. As a run and gun vlogger, it works a treat, and we'll be looking closer at the vlogger kit that Fujifilm offer. But suffice it to say, you can get going in no time, start shooting with no hassle, and get some decent results. Handheld, you know, just straight messing about. Just put this on it. Probably better get in. We are still under quarantine after all, and this is supposed to be, well, it is my daily exercise. You should also exercise your photographic abilities. Muscle, that's the one. It's worth mentioning that the USB-C port is also good for audio monitoring via an adapter, which is very handy for checking your vlog clips on your coffee break while you're traveling around. Now, you could always start everything in auto everything if you knew, but you've got the flexibility to go manual and learn the best way to do it if you want. It is a great little starter camera for stills and video. Yes, there are other options out there, other brands and all that, but let's be honest, this camera knows its market. It's not for the fanboys out there who want the XT9 million already, but a casual shooter, even an amateur or pro who just wants something fun that the family can use and that the kids can enjoy. Now, if you really find you need an EVF or 120 frame per second slow-mo, or for some reason really need a 3.5mm mic input instead of a 2.5mm with adapter, then maybe you'll spend a little extra and enjoy the XT200. As for other brand options, well, I don't think you'd have got this far if you weren't already convinced that Fujifilm was your best fit. But for fairness, the nearest equivalent from another brand that I would maybe consider is the Canon EOS M200, which frankly is a different fit and feel with a very similar spec, but at a cheaper price. But sometimes you got to go with your heart when it comes to photography, even at an entry level. What do you think? Have you tried this camera? Let us know in the comments below, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.